welcome to Counter-Strike Casuals Ep5. We're back recording and we're back online. Um,
Oh, you caught me off guard, mate. I was just having a sip of my brew.
that's right, I've only just shown us on camera actually. I was also rusty and caught off guard because I didn't even have us actually on camera.
You're
Uh,
still in holiday mode, mate.
yeah, I'm still not really awake or with it. Um,
How was it? You had a good time?
Very good, thank you, very good. And Ipswich got promoted whilst I was away, so I'm today rocking the Ipswich top to celebrate that as well as lots of good Counter Strike stuff going on. So we're vibes in. Have you been all right?
Yeah. Yeah, good, mate. It feels like a century ago, all this CS stuff. Like, it feels like everything's been and gone since we last recorded.
That's true. Well, we had the Brazy party, the mad, crazy, Brazy party, which I still don't even understand what that tournament was all about.
The
Um,
Brave Crazy tournament. Yeah, I don't think anyone knew what it was about. Everyone thought the name was weird and the whole concept was weird, but yeah, they had it was fun anyway. I mean, for an online tournament, I enjoyed it.
for an online tournament with really good cash fund, prize money. I don't know
Yeah.
what the qualifications were for that, how you actually got into it. Um, I know that some people dipped out of it or didn't go into it, but there were some guys that weren't in the major. I mean, the two finalists weren't in the major, so they had a good run. There was a couple of teams that are in the major that I also think would have used it as a good little practice run or just to get some server time in. Um, but generally, I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, I'd watch it again.
Yeah, yeah, it was good.
Who Into the Breach? They had a good. They won their group. They won two matches in their group. Then they went lost to nine. That's how they came out of it. So that's not a bad result for them, right? I think they would be quite pleased with that. That's a good run
Yeah,
for them as they go into the major. Give them a bit of confidence. Um,
yeah. I watched a couple of the games. Did you manage to watch much?
I didn't watch much of the lead up to the final, and then I watched the final map of the final, the decider map, because I was away, obviously. The big thing about this tournament, or what I found, because I was in Spain and I was trying to watch it on TV, because I prefer to watch it on TV. On your phone or whatever, it's just, if I've got Twitch on my phone, it's always just a bit too small. There wasn't a UK or there wasn't a European or English speaking YouTube channel for it officially for it, which was weird. All the links I found were Russian or yeah, it was that I couldn't find, and even I went on the stream's website on HLTV. So I don't know if I was doing something wrong there, but that would be my only criticism of the watch experience. Was other than that, I thought they presented it really well. There wasn't much. Obviously, it was an online tournament, right? So there's no like mad interviews or anything, but the layout and the hood and like the layout and how it looked good. So
Yeah,
uh,
I mean, I don't. I'm not too sure. It was Relog, a company that do sort of events for these kind of tournaments. So Brazy Party is a Russian organization, but they've just opened a headquarters in Portugal, I believe.
okay,
Um, I'll double check that, but I'm not 100%. But I'm pretty sure I read it was in Portugal. They're opening a head office. But I just heard a few people like a bit confused about this Brazy Party. Where have they come from? A lot of their website and stuff didn't make sense. But from what I gather, it's a Russian company. But they get Relog to organize their event. So if you were on Twitch, I did the same as you. I was like,
yeah,
"Where's Brassy Party? You know, what's the official streaming service?" And it was Relog that there was their official. So maybe that's why you couldn't find it on YouTube. Maybe it was Relog channel,
yeah, maybe.
possibly. But yeah, I enjoyed it too. I watched it on the Relog because there was a lot of streamers streaming it on Twitch, but I just can't deal with the streamers talking. I just want
Ah,
to
mate,
listen to broadcasters.
I think I watched some of Smuya's one at one point. Oh, mate, that's interesting because I was watching. Maybe I did that on my phone when I couldn't get on YouTube or got fed up of watching it muted because of the Russian chat. And I think I watched Smuya's channel and he had some other guys on there. I think even that Taz was on there. Um, and one of them just started going ham on like overweight women. I'm not going to go into it on this podcast, but I was like, this is mental. And he was just like, yeah. I had turned it off because I was just like, this is just a bit like classic. I
What?
don't know, it was weird. I don't know if I've made that up or I was dreaming or I was drunk on holiday, but I remember watching Smooya's stream at one point and I turned it off because I thought this is a bit random and a
It
bit.
sounds very CSy, like.
That's what I mean. Like it felt like the game was overspilling into like, oh, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. I turned it off, but there you go.
Wow.
But back to the actual games and the actual
Yeah.
matches and
So
what happened.
yeah,
Go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I was just gonna go through the results. Into the Breach, they were like sixth or seventh, sixth, I think. This
Hmm.
bracket kind of says. So they did pretty well, and I was pretty pleased with Into the Breach how they did. And then you've got Cloud9 and Astralis pretty much performed pretty well. Nine did well. I was a bit worried they were they were going to knock Astralis out. Was it Astralis they played in the
Who's that?
semis?
Who's that? Sorry.
Nine.
Yeah, nine played Astralis, and they lost to Astralis 2-0. So pretty convincing from Astralis. Because I think nine in OG would be quite pleased with their little mini run that they had because they both lost in the semis to the eventual winners, but eventual finalists. But I
I
think
mean,
I think the guys that are playing in the major, like OG9, Into the Breach, whoever, I don't think they would have taken this that seriously, right? They would have given it a go because the prize, the tournament money was good enough. But I think they've got the eyes on the major. That's where they want to perform. So I think if they got to the semis in this and made a bit of money, happy days, right? They're not going to be playing their strats that they're going to be doing in the major or going 200% thinking, oh, let's try this out. They just used it as a bit of server time, practice some communication, I imagine, utility stuff, and then get some prize money, focus on the major. So I don't think OG and nine in particular could be too disappointed with their performance.
yeah, I think you're right, mate, 100%. Because I don't think they're gonna do too much at the major anyway. It's not like they're gonna go for. Well, I assume they're gonna go for gold. Everyone is, but the chances are they're not going to win the major. But they they're probably not going to go all out in this tournament. Although maybe they would. Would they rather win that and get 133k? I don't know what the runner-up prizes are at the major, but
Big. It's big.
yeah. But I imagine Cloud9 and Astralis, they weren't in the major, and those are the two boys that I think that we need to focus on because those two are then not in the major, neither of them, and they were in the finals together, and that was interesting because I'll be honest, Cloud9 were a massive favourite, but I thought Astralis, they could pull an upset because they were playing well, and what's his name, new boy,
Altex
Altex,
played well.
he played well.
Well, he was
Um,
second frag on their team, and his rating was 1.21 on the in the final. I think only just behind Blame F, and Blame F was his usual self. So yeah, he did well. I think he looks good.
they were 1 and 2 over in the overall tournament.
Oh really? Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, and he was playing well when I watched it. I was like, in the final,
Because
he was doing
I
very well.
I watched him earlier in the tournament, and I was like, "Oh, he's not doing amazing." He was kind of a bit hit and miss, but I think he's still finding his feet, and he's only 19.
Mhm.
He's joined a new team, and he's performing well already.
Yeah.
Um, good stuff.
But Buzz at the bottom again. I keep watching Buzz, and I actually think you might as well have kept Zipex in and got rid of Buzz. I mean, they probably play different roles that, as a casual, I'm too stupid to clock or whatever. But mate, bring Altex in for Buzz. I know Buzz is also new, so they're probably just trying to like embed him in and make sure. I don't think Astralis would be the type of team to remove someone so quickly. But fuck.
What's your opinion on them now? Then are they dead, or do you think
Well, we're not.
they're up and coming? Blame F, like I said, Blame F was number one in the Brazy tournament, then Altex, and then Axile for Cloud9. So they've got two of the best players in that tournament, and that's saying a lot considering some of the teams. I mean, I know they're not amazing, but Cloud9 with Shroud, he wasn't the top three. Um, you've got some pretty good teams. Ents, Big, OG, Nine, and Australis had two of the best players. Do you think they still need to mix things up to actually
I
get?
think at the moment all teams will be building or taking it easy leading up to, well, they're not the major, but once the major's done, leading up to CS2, and they'll start. I think the first 6 months of CS2, I guess, will be just like a finding your feet period. So I don't think too much is going to happen with a lot of the bigger teams until CS2 is underway. I wouldn't do it if I was a coach or CEO or whatever these organisations. I'd probably be saying, look, let's get to CS2, work it all out. We don't know what's going to be in the final game. Making a hasty decision, I think, before CS2's out and actually having 6 months of play time can be a costly decision. Like, imagine you kick Buzz out. Let's just use Buzz as an example. I would be saying you should have got Zipex, should have stayed in him out. Buzz might find that CS2 clicks with him and he turns out to be the blame F of the team once CS2's out, but you've just paid off his contract and whipped him out before. You might just be stupid to do that. I can't imagine it's going to change that dramatically, but you get my gist. It might just, something might just click for CS2, which means I think most teams will be waiting around and seeing what happens and using it as a finding their feet period before they do anything dramatic. But let's see. It was a good final with two teams that I think you would have wanted to see someone seems from the major, but then also maybe not because this is almost like a little mini, like it felt like a mini losers major final type thing, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like yeah, two
yeah,
teams,
actually, yeah.
two teams that didn't quite get in, so it was quite fun to see them battle it out. Um, and yeah, I mean,
Well,
choke
Cloud9
nine,
have
choke
been making
nine.
some.
We can't call them that for now. So yeah,
Yeah, they've been making some money these past few months. Been doing well in these little tournaments. So yeah, I mean, can't look you down your nose at them. They've been doing pretty well.
we've got a shout out our team Big who had a really bad showing. They didn't win a single game, and they knocked out in the group stages. So
Yeah, they need to shake it up.
that's a shame. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
surprised they did that bad. But anyway, whatever.
yeah. So any Cloud9 won the tournament. Was it 2-1?
Yeah, 2-1. The both teams won their pick of the map quite convincingly. And then it went to Inferno as decider, and it was 16-12 to Cloud9. So it wasn't that close, really.
Yeah,
Um,
I think they were getting absolutely smoked as well, and then they started to pull it back a little bit. So
mate,
it wasn't as embarrassing as it started off.
I think it was Exile on CT for Cloud9. I think it was Exile held Pit on A like 5 times in the same position, and Astralis just couldn't kill him, and he was always there, and it was driving me nuts when I was watching. I was just like, he's
Yeah,
there. He's playing it every time.
yeah. You mentioned this to me, and I said I wasn't 100% sure if it was Australis, but I'm pretty sure it was them. They were rushing A on Mirage, and they rushed into the bomb site, and they kind of all rushed towards jungle area, and there was someone on the bomb site at default. I can't remember who it was they were playing. Pistol round, literally just popping them all off,
Mm.
and none of them
Did
none of
anything?
them challenged him. Like they didn't even look at him. They were running past him, and even the broadcasters were like, "What's going on?" Like they're not
Mm.
even looking at him. So I think it's really bad communication, and also I think they're just kind of relying on the other person to kind of take the responsibility. I don't know. It was weird.
Well, but yeah, but someone needs to do something, or at least I don't know. Yeah, just step up. Or I mean, it's really easy for us to say this. We would have
Yeah.
got destroyed instantly, with our quick
Yeah, but
reaction times. But yeah, but they are pros. They should be doing better.
it's a
Um,
show. So
exactly. So I think that's the Brazy party. The Brazy party was fucking brazy, man. I came out of it thinking, I had to sit down at the end of it. It was that
it
brazy.
was
So,
it fucking was, to be fair. Like it delivered. It does what it says on the tin.
well, we look forward to that again next year, I guess. Random. Um, what about Melbourne? We'll touch on that. I did not watch any of it. I saw that Bad News Eagles choked it.
Yeah, well,
They were in the
I
final, they lost, didn't they?
yeah, I thought they were going to do pretty well. They did. They got to the finals. I guess that's something to say for them.
Yeah, I
But
didn't watch any of it. It was always on at weird times, or like the time zones are never going to work for that kind of thing. Um, but
who who won it?
Movistar, right?
Oh
Like
yeah, is
whoever
that
the
right? Spanish team, I think.
really what in an Oceania Australian.
Oh yeah, that's a point. Why did I
Let's
think
have a
it was?
look. Quick.
You get that up quick. Um, yeah, I was telling my brother he needs to go.
Movistar
What?
Riders, yeah.
Where are they from?
Uh,
Get it up.
I know you're right. They're Spanish, yeah. Movistar Riders, 25th in the world.
Okay. Yeah, strange.
God, Bad News Eagles didn't turn up. They lost 2-0. First map 16-10 to Movistar, and a bit closer on the second one 16-13. But yeah, no, it's quite comfortable for Movistar. And that's a shame because I think Bad News Eagles were you said they were going into that really trying. They wanted to win that, right? So when you go into something like that and you get that, you get to the final, you've done the hard work. Um, we'll see what that means for them
So
in
good
the thing.
experience. It's good experience for them though, and a lot of these kind of tier two teams, they say the main thing for them is experience, and you can see that the HLTV, I think it was released. The amount of games teams have played. Have you seen Monty? They've played like ridiculous amount of games.
Loads of games, yeah, I did see. I heard that, yeah. But sorry,
Ridiculous.
just on Melbourne, mate, complexity shocking. They didn't. They didn't win. They're shocking. Complexity really bad considering their ranking, and I think they would have gone into that thinking they're going to do well. Um, and they're yeah, that's interesting.
What do, what do you think of like the whole CS scene at the minute and the majors and stuff? It's so up in the air. I've heard some people saying, "Oh, like the quality's shit at the minute," but I just think personally that the
Well,
the the quality's so good. Like the up and comers are really good, and it's so narrow. And I like the fact that there isn't a dead favorite
yeah.
or set to. What do you think? Do you prefer it to be too kind of, oh, it's going to be phase or Navi or
No, I
whoever,
agree with you. No, I agree
or
with
do
you.
you like it being open?
I think the guys that have watched this so intensely for the last 10, 15 years clearly have a weird like feeling of when it's a tightly contested scene, like there's a top four and those top four winning everything. They seem to like that, but I think especially for us as casuals, I like this the opposite. Like you've got these Movistar riders winning over there. Then you've got Cloud9 winning that one. And then we go into a major who's going to win this one. It's so random. Doesn't make trying to win any money or doing any pick-ems or fantasy easy, but I think it means that it's enjoyable to watch. I would love to.
It's exciting.
And it means that teams like Into the Breach or whoever else you're thinking, like Liquids and the like, that you know just a bit of exciting to watch someone else come in there and do it. But for us as well, especially as we are casual watchers that don't have chance to really read the into the team's kind of last 5, 6 results or whatever, I think it's exciting. I'm well up for it this way, and I actually think that it will bring in a more people to watch. I think, right? Because it,
Yeah,
it must be boring if it's always if Astralis went on and won like 4 more majors. I mean, you just be watching this going, well, who's going to be in the final with Astralis and who's going to win? Yeah, it's not as exciting. Definitely, I prefer it this way. I like this.
yeah, I think it's good. I think to me it feels like the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
If with
not in a
CS2 on
depressing way.
corner,
Not does this.
yeah, yeah. No, but with CS2, well, it's for me to be honest. I do feel like it is a little bit. It is a little bit sad. It's like CS:GO is done. It's over.
Mm.
It's been a long time, so
We've spent
it's
so many years trying to get our friends to come back to Counter Strike, CS:GO, and now it's over. So it was all for nothing. They were right to not come back.
And well, like every game, but now, CS2's around the corner, and they just keep breaking the record over and over and over again.
That is a sure sign of a, someone not giving up there. Counter-Strike is never giving up, even when we're at the end of its lifespan. Officially at the end of its lifespan, it breaks another record and has more people playing than ever before. What was it this time? It was 1.5 before, wasn't it?
0.8.
1.8 now, yeah?
Yep, I think they're going to hit 2.
So they probably will hit 2. I don't see how. And who are these people playing? Because I'm seeing it as well. Because on my Steam, I'm seeing way more people play. Before when you and
What
me would
hype around it?
when you and me would be trying to play the lonely rank games on a Tuesday night, I'd see like us and one other on. Now I go on Steam, it's like five random people that, oh, I remember him. He's still he's knocking about and he's playing with a hype. So what? Because of CS2 or it must just be that purely that,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's a bit of everything. I think it's CS2 coming out, the major, just the hype around CSGO not being around anymore. People, talking about it more, than breaking the record as well. So
Mm.
that kind of snowballs it. So people here,
See at the top of the Steam charts as well. People just looking on things like that on the.
yeah, they,
Also, are other games a bit stale? Because I don't know many people playing the likes of Valorant at the moment, or as much. I mean, we're in a few WhatsApp gaming groups, aren't we?
yeah, we are.
And no one's really playing much. It doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like that many. The guys that were playing COD all the time, not as many of those guys. Valorant. I mean, we've got a couple of mates that played Valorant religiously that they're not playing.
We've got
Eight,
League, which I know nothing about.
don't know. We never met known that many League players. Apex. I don't. People playing Apex, loads of that. I don't ever see many people playing that.
Well, if you look at the top games with the highest like player count, you've got Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft. I mean, people are still playing that. I know you love to dabble with World of Warcraft.
I do.
Yeah, and then you've got like stupid games like Among Us and Fortnite and Legends. But
World of Warcraft and Counter Strike are the two that I can't seem to ever shake. Well, there you go. That's great news again. So we've had the Brazy parties been and gone, Melbourne,
the
and
other thing
CS
with
smashing life there.
the other thing with people coming online as well is the stickers. There's because everyone was raging about the stickers. All the pro guys were like,
Yeah,
"Where's that?
gagging
Where's
for
that?"
it.
Which, to be fair, I'd be the same. Like, imagine you had the opportunity to have your name on a gun, or so.
Is it that, or is it because you get 50% of the income,
Yeah,
or
true.
is that the Diz and me coming out? Is it because you get your name on a gun, or do you get 50% of the income for the last ever Counter Strike major, and everyone's going to be buying these stickers more than before? There's more people playing the game, there's more hype around the game, and then there's people buying stickers, and then you get 50%.
Well, you need to get, and for the pick-ems as well, you need to come online to do the pick-ems, so people are coming online to do that as well.
Yeah, yeah. So interesting because we spoke about the stickers last week in the podcast. If anyone's listening about stickers and were casuals like us weren't sure, you can listen back because we I don't think I definitely didn't grasp how important stickers were. I don't like stickers on my gun. I think that they look naff. They make the gun look worse. Um, but in light of all the hype, I've got caught up at it, and I have indulged in some sticker buying, and I think I've opened a lot of capsules, and might release some video of me doing it at some point. But I think I got hollow or glitter bad news Eagles. I got a
Is
Carrigan.
that your best one?
I think that was my best
Oh,
one. I got a Carrigan. It was just a normal Carrigan though. But then I don't know what to do with it because it's like sick. It's Carrigan because I love Carrigan. But what do I do?
I do think they can look good on certain guns, on certain skins. They do look good, but your skin's got to be fairly plain. If you've got a busy skin, then it doesn't look great.
And I almost prefer. which is lucky for me because I opened probably 15 capsules and got 4 Blast Major logo ones, the deadest, most
Yeah,
basic
the worst
bitch
one. Yeah.
one. I actually think that looks quite good because it's almost like you're not having to put, because I also got like 3 liquid ones, and I'm like, okay, cool, but like I have no real feeling towards liquid. I've got OC in my fantasy team, but other than that, I haven't got. I don't care whatever liquid. Like, so what am I gonna do? Put it on a gun and then
Yeah, some
what?
people use them as investments, don't they? I just got 2 just because of the hype around it, and I got the Into the Breach glitter one. So I was buzzing with that,
Hmm.
to be fair. So when they win it, the value of that's going to be massive.
You're banking that, yeah. Okay, you're hoping for a lot there.
No,
But
they're not going to win it, but I was happy with that.
I think unless it's one of some of my favorite players, I'm not gonna be that excited. But then I'm like, well, what gun does it go on? So we've got Carrigan, then what do I put it? So Carrigan, that's the one I probably would have wanted. Where do I put it?
You'll have to,
Just on the end of an AK, and
yeah, just
then
have a look because they can only go in like 3 positions. I was just flicking through my skins that I wouldn't mind it on, and the only one that I did like it on was a dead skin that was like just plain.
just the default. There's no actual
Yeah.
skin. Yeah, but I didn't get a mad haul. Yeah, what else? A load of liquids, couple of fanatics. I did get
Oh,
an
I
into
love
the
the
breach.
Fnatic. I wouldn't mind a Fnatic one. Did you get any hollows?
No hollows, just normal. Can I trade them to you? I could send you a normal one. I've got like 3 of them. Um, into the breach normal, which I will keep, probably put on something. I've put a phase one on. I've put the blast major one on. I'll probably put into the breach on something.
Yeah, I'll use them. I'm not in a rush to be honest, because yeah, like you, I'm not that bothered. But
And I recorded me unboxing them earlier. I said to you, and I was like, oh, is this content? And then like, oh, I'll watch it. And I was like, oh, I'm not that excited because I'm not that excited about stickers. So can't be that exciting to watch me. I was like, oh, another liquid. But I got a bit excited. I got the Carrigan one, but um,
yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
perfect.
I can see how it's addictive. I must admit, because I've
Yeah,
bought a few capsules, opened them, and I'm like, ah, I didn't get a Carrigan. Let's
yeah.
go
You didn't get
again.
the one you wanted.
Bought like 3
I,
more.
I like the new Anubis skins they brought out the other week. Was
Yeah,
it last week? Maybe.
yeah. I bought a couple of them actually. 'Cause the A is it the AK? The AK, and that looks good.
The AK looks decent. It's got an M4 as well. It looks
I'm not
similar.
sure.
I don't know if it's the M4 A1, maybe. But yeah, they look good. But I think that brings us um, on the subject of the gambling side of Counter-Strike with
Yes.
people. It's basically skins are basically gambling in CS anyway. I like the format of the way they do the skins. I kind of like it. It's a bit of entertaining. It's not very expensive. But in terms of gambling, I'm not a big gambler at all. I don't really gamble much. I do now and again, but I'm very sensible with my money
Yep.
because I don't have a lot of it. So I'm very careful. I know you like to gamble, but you're not a big gambler either, are you?
No, I'm not actually. For someone that has an addictive personality, gambling's one that doesn't quite capture me. Um,
But the reason we're
when I
talking
do
about,
gamble though,
go on.
I'll do small stakes. I think I put an accumulator on for the first games, and I put £1 on. So it's not gonna.
So
Well,
the reason we're
Mrs.
talking
is not
about it
gonna
is,
kick me out over it.
yeah, the reason I bring it up, the reason we're talking about it is the whole Monacy advert thing. So I did see this advert of Monacy going to a nightclub.
Honestly,
Um,
who's just turned 18?
yeah, this was the day after he turned 18. I think they dropped this, so obviously they recorded it before. The bouncer's asking him for ID. It's all very like a moody kind of scene. It's filmed pretty cool actually.
Hmm.
And then he whips his ID out, which is it like a CS
I
themed
actually
like
haven't watched
ID
this, to be fair.
card?
I need to watch it. Yeah.
So he's all suited and booted and everything. And then yeah, he whips this little ID card out saying that he's 18. And then I'm sure the bouncer like signs saying S tier skins only. And then it just cuts to this AWP he's holding.
Yep.
with a 6 skin. So then he just gets in the club, and I
Gets in
don't
because
think
his
I
skin's
watched.
so fucking cool. Straight to
Yeah,
the
so
VIP section.
exactly. So very realistic. Yeah, you
It's
can. Yeah, have you got an
so
all? Yeah, come straight in, mate. So basically, there was a lot of backlash because this advert was for a gambling company. Monacy's just turned 18. Do you have a strong opinion on it? Because I know Twitter does, and I know you're
Twitter.
on the Twitter scene. I'm not
Twitter
big on
has
the
a
Twitter
strong
scene.
opinion on everything. Um, One of the tweets I saw was that Monacy's been gambling since he was playing Counter-Strike at age whatever, so it's no big deal. Is it? I guess it's just like if you're gonna have these sponsors, do they need to be all this gambling stuff? Or it's always these gambling sites. I think actually they should be careful with this kind of stuff because
Who should be careful?
the organizations.
So the gambling companies,
No,
or
not the gambling companies. The gambling companies are doing their job. No, they're a company and they want to make money. G2, do they need that sponsor or could they have other sponsors? I guess they're offering more money than everyone else, fine, but they have a responsibility to their young fan base.
so if they use Nico, would it
Is
have been
it?
different?
Probably would. It probably would,
So
man. Money's like literally just turned, isn't he? And they would have filmed that before he was 18. Not that makes difference, but yeah, if it was Nico, it probably would. But again, my point is more to well, do they definitely need a gambling company as the sponsor for these organizations? There's going to be loads, like you've got two sons. When they become 14, 13, 14, they're going to be wanting to play games like this or already, whatever. Um, do you want them to be, let's say G2 is their favorite team and they see one of the main sponsors is a gambling website? I don't think actually kids do look, thinking now when I was a kid, was I looking at the sponsor of Ipswich when I was, whatever. I guess I would have seen some of that, but it would have been an alcohol company at the time probably. Um, I'm thinking out loud a bit here, what's going through my mind. Um, because the problem with CS is even I've just said it, it's quite addictive once you start opening some boxes and once you start getting into the rhythm of and I reckon you could get carried away as a younger person and end up spunking a lot of money on this stuff and not having much control over it. It reminds me of when I was a kid, back in the day, what we used to get told off for is using the phone. I mean, that's mental, but like
yeah,
my dad would come in with a printed off bill and be like, "Do you know this number?" And I'd be like, "Yeah."
yeah.
And he'd
And
be
you could
like,
talk for England as well. So
"Yeah, yeah." And he'd be like, "You've spent 22 quid talking to that number." And I'm like, "That's my missus at the time, whatever, And I'm
yeah,
like, "Shit, yeah." And he's like, "You're fucking not going on the phone again for like 4 months or whatever." And like 22 quid is a lot now. If you spent 22 quid on CS skins, if one of your boys spent 22 quid on CS skins or Fortnite skins that you didn't authorize or you said you could have one and then they kept it going, like they kept the credit card on, you'd be like, fucking cheeky
yeah.
boys.
Even now, they've got little iPads each,
Yeah.
and they're spending stuff. Luckily, it's linked to my missus account, so she's kicking off. How have they managed to buy this? Blah blah blah.
So there
So
you go. So
I mean,
do these
it's different though.
organizations? Yeah, you
We're
talk about
we're
gambling,
we're
I
kind
know.
of we're going off topic a little bit. So the gambling side of it, to be honest, I don't give a fuck. Like if it's Monacy advertising it or whatever, I don't really care. I wasn't gambling when I was a kid. Would I have gambled if I was a kid now and I saw that? No, I don't think it would influence me. I do think there is a problem with gambling. I do think gambling is dangerous. It's very addictive, and it does ruin lives 100%. It definitely does. But I don't have a massive problem with this. I do think it's a little bit irresponsible with the gambling company to say, "Oh, Monacy, we're going to use you to do our advert." I do think that's a little bit too far, but because I know you're saying it's kind of G2 should be the guys saying
I
listen, this
think
is a bit
so.
out of order. I think the gambling companies also have a responsibility. in most countries, gambling companies, there's massive gambling laws. You've got to do X, Y, and Z. You've got to promote anti-gambling websites and helping phone numbers and whatnot. And I think that's very important. And I think that it's a bit irresponsible of them to use someone so young when they could have used a Nico,
Yeah.
who is just as big, if not bigger name than Monesi, and
Has
would
Nico
have.
tweeted about this? Because that guy loves to kick off and tweet.
I've not seen anything.
I'm
Probably not. It's
sure
probably been.
he's probably said something about it. He's probably
But yeah, to be honest, I don't give too much of a fuck about it. Do whatever you want. But in terms of gambling, yeah, these companies need. We see CS teams and organisations folding by the minute. That these
yeah.
gambling companies are willing to sponsor a lot of money towards these organisations. Go for it, take the money. They're taking everyone else's money, so we need to take a bit of that back. So
Fair
yeah,
enough. Yeah, there
okay,
was a couple of the Copenhagen Flames. They went under, didn't they, recently? There was another team that folded. And Copenhagen Flames have produced some of the good
yeah.
players, right? Was it Rops? Did they produce Rops? And they were like the fucking Copenhagen Academy, like just producing these players. But interesting about that, I also saw a tweet where someone had saved Copenhagen Flames stickers, and the Copenhagen Flames players had been buying them up before because they knew that it was gonna fold.
Oh,
I saw that, yeah, which was quite interesting. I don't know if anyone got in trouble for that, but almost like
so
insider
hard to
trading.
regulate. Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
but it's so hard to regulate that kind of stuff, isn't it?
mental, mental. But yeah. So basically, if you're listening, just gamble aware. Be aware. Be careful,
Yeah, both
and
our listeners.
don't open up too many skins. Um,
I
but
think
anyway,
skins isn't as bad like as gambling
I
as
actually
such.
think
I
it can
mean,
become
if
it can
it
get.
is very addictive and you do have to be careful, but you're buying skins. The way CS does it is a little bit. I say I like it. I like it for me as a person, but I'm very self. What's the word?
You got self-control.
Yes, I've got self control, so I'm fine with it. I'll buy a skin every now and again. I've still got loads of crates that I've not opened, but I do think it could be dangerous for a
You
lot of
should check
people.
if can you sell crates?
Yes.
Check if any are worth some bob. Um, right. Let's move on to the big one then, the major. Let's talk about that, which starts tomorrow. We're recording this on Sunday. We're a few days late because I was away. The major starts tomorrow. Well, hopefully we're gonna get this out tonight in an ideal world because I'd like to get it ahead of the major first games. Any particular news? The only thing I saw that I thought was interesting was the coach of Monty. Is it Monty? Yeah, Monty is not going to be there.
Oh,
Um,
yes. He's from
which,
Ukraine, isn't he?
yeah, I don't get. I don't understand. There's loads of Ukrainians playing.
Yes,
Simple,
but it's leave going in and out of the country. They're getting tighter with rules and regulations.
right?
I did hear or read something about it, but I don't want to say exactly because I can't remember. So
So
I
I
don't want to
think
say.
I think that's quite. That's bad for them.
I know it's between 18 and 60-year-olds, I think, have to have
Staying in the
certain
country,
permissions to leave, and they've been getting a bit stricter.
right? But that's bad for Monty because I think because of the hype around this and because it is probably bigger than any other major. Um, I'd imagine it will be based on all these player
It
numbers.
feels huge. Like I'm super excited about it. I think it's so open. Anyone can win it. There's a lot of hype around it, and I think everybody's going for it.
So I think any small change or any small r- something that's going to break your rhythm or your system or your even because I know there's players that have real loads of sports people have it. What's it called? Where they suspi stupid superstitious
Superstition.
superstitions. You know where they like wear the same socks that they wore when they last
Yeah,
won and all that. Anything where like you losing your coach is big, right? Not having the guy behind you who you're used to having, I think is quite big. And they play FaZe first, which interesting. When I was putting my accumulator on, I actually thought FaZe might lose it because it's best of one, and FaZe have been so whiffy recently. But then I actually went back to FaZe when I saw that because I just think stuff like that's gonna throw them a bit. Um, but interesting, I did have Monty in my pick'em to go through, so I do still think they'll advance through. But um, yeah, I do think that will be quite big for them.
yeah. I do think, like you say, it's going to be the small details that make the difference. But I do think FaZe are going to do well, because they didn't do great at the the RMRs,
Yeah,
but I feel like they've had a big rest now. They've all gone home. They've had a rest. They've recouped, and just take away their whole team individually. They're all fantastic players. They're all brilliant, and so I do think that they're gonna they're gonna surprise everyone. I feel and I hope. I don't know if I'm talking with my head or my heart. I hope they do well.
yeah. Well, we'll see. Just on the pick'ems, we won't go into pick'ems loads because I feel like there's loads of content out there. People are always talking about it. Who did you put as your 3-0 undefeated?
Yeah, I think that's good. Actually, a good point because I think there's no point in us going through all of it
No,
because
people don't
pretty much
care about
everybody's
our shit.
every yeah, and most people will have very similar setups anyway.
Let's do the
Um,
free. Let's do.
so I've got G2 going 3-0.
Okay.
I think I
Yep.
think those guys are going to be going full out. They
Yep.
missed that. What did they miss for it? The Brazy party.
I think they missed the Brazy party and yeah, just that maybe. They pulled out one, didn't they? Was it the
Was
Brazy
there an
party?
ESL tournament?
Might have been something that they. Yeah, but they definitely gave something a miss, didn't they?
Fucking hell, it was like 2 weeks ago and we can't
Ah,
remember.
mate, there's too much. It's too much.
Yeah,
We're
it's too much going
casual. We're
on. And
casual. Let's not forget
Flux, was it?
Fluxo as your
Fluxo,
ones to be
um,
defeated.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think they're not going to win a game because they're playing Pain in the first game.
yeah, which I
Pain,
think they lose that.
Pain are good, and let's be fair, they've got to be the biggest underdogs in the challengers group.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a fair picks. I went for Forza's 3-0 undefeated. They've got Greyhound first. And it was a mixture of just seeing lots of people out there picking
So,
them with also trying to play the game because I didn't want to do the rest. I want to get this diamond coin, which, if I'm honest, I don't even know what the point in it is. But if you get everything right, you will get something. But
but if
picking G2, but G2 are
so,
going
the
to
winners
advance.
in the next stage, the winners are going to play the winners. So if they win against Greyhound, which is likely, they're
Yeah,
going to be playing someone that's also won.
right. Don't talk to me about the layouts and this. I mean, I can't get my head around. You
It's
sent me a diagram earlier, and even that didn't make sense to me. Well, let me just say. So I went for Forza. Also, Forza are all Russian team, and they've got that geezer with the mad hair. Shit's just gonna go down, man. They're gonna show up, I think, and just decide to be sick, which might people might not like. So Forza to go for undefeated. Then I've got Greyhound. Your guys Greyhound to go out completely eliminated without winning. Um, they're they're playing G. No, who are they playing? Who Greyhound? Greyhound have got Forza first as well, so I thought that was a nice little matchup. I like that. I was like, gonna go for the ones that are playing exactly the same.
play it safe, yeah.
So
Or put all your eggs in one basket.
exactly, yeah, more that. So the first matches start tomorrow. The best of ones tomorrow, which I think makes it so
This is
hard.
super exciting, but also it's
Cool.
going to make us look like idiots because by the time the podcast comes out, or most people are seeing it, most people, but we get about 3 viewers on each one, so it doesn't matter too much. But we're going to look like idiots because we're going to be like, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and it would have already happened. So
No,
we could look like idiots.
yeah, but we don't know. We don't know. I just realised I need to just maybe move us down a bit. Right. Sorry, I just realised on the stream, on the recording, that I was capturing a bit of something on your camera. When you spoke, it was flashing green like doing Discord, and I know that one of our viewers is going to immediately text me on that already. So, flu dot apologies. Um, yeah, sorry. So, yeah, but we don't know what's going to happen because we're making educated guesses and we're casual viewers that don't know what's
Of
going to happen.
course. So
So,
tomorrow do you know how many games we have tomorrow?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to begin with, and then those winners play the winners that play again. Yeah, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games tomorrow.
16 games in one day.
Fuck me. And thank God it's a bank holiday Monday. Mrs. Diz says, "You got plans tomorrow?" I'm pretty sure you have. I'm like, just try and watch as much Counter-Strike as possible. I mean, it's mental. I mean, look, the first one's at 10:30. It's Monty versus FaZe
Do you
and
know what time the
Pain.
last one is?
Yeah, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. it starts. So what?
Yeah.
It's best of one though, so it won't go on too long. But with it being best of one, it's just going to be mental. There'll be some mad results tomorrow, I reckon.
Yeah, there's going to be some upsets, and everybody's pick-ems are going to be fucked.
Yeah, and betting and accumulators and that. But the games to watch out for tomorrow that are kind of already announced, I think Nip versus Mouse.
Yeah,
That's
but I
an
was going to.
exciting one. I'm going to definitely tune into that. Um, OG versus Ents. That'll be
Yeah,
good. I think Ents will win that. Um, and I will watch.
FaZe should be.
I was gonna say I will watch FaZe Monty, and actually
I would. I wouldn't put money on it. I mean, I don't know if
no,
you have you put.
I've done an accumulator and I've put FaZe to win it, and I did have Monty first, but then with their coach not being there, I thought, oh well, FaZe might nip this,
Yeah, I do.
and
I do think they will, but
I think FaZe will be going into this on their A game. I think you mentioned it to me. Carrigan, I think, is going to be hungry for this. He's going to be pushing those boys. I think because they just got through as well, I think they'll have an element of wanting to prove themselves. Um, so, and then I didn't do every game in the things, but just some quick picks. I get Pain to win, G2 to win. I put Complexity to beat Gamer Legion, which I'm not sure about now. Liquid to beat Apex, Fours to beat Greyhound, Mouse to win against Nip, and actually went for OG against Ents, so not Ents. Um, so yeah, that's my little accumulator. It's 30 to 1, so we'll see. Um, but yeah, no, good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Have we got anything else to touch on for tomorrow, or are we just ready to go now? I'm just ready to go.
yeah, mate, I'm super excited. Like I was saying, it's completely open. It's pretty much anyone's for the taking. We've got the favourites have got to be. To be fair, two of them are in the challenger stage, which is pretty crazy. G2 and FaZe,
Mm.
Navi, Heroic, and Vitality.
Yeah.
Are you still going with Navi for your favourites to win the whole thing?
Uh, yeah. I want to say Vitality after they're showing.
I feel like this happens a lot with CS. We were a prisoner of the moment.
Yeah,
Whoever's won is like, oh, these are the best team.
but that's why it's also a good time for this, and that's why I feel like it is exciting.
Yeah, it is, but it's so open.
Yeah.
Nobody can say, so and so is going to win it because it is very, very open. I'm still not sure. I'm still steering towards Navi. Vitality is a good shout. I do think with it being in Paris, the the crowd are going to be slightly more towards Vitality. I think, but it's going to be
When you were trying to think about G2 dropping out, it was the IEM and Rio because that's
that
what
was it.
Vitality won.
Yes.
Um, Vitality won Heroic second, so yeah, Heroic obviously will be up there as well because they just
And now Heroic are number one in the world.
yeah, yeah, no
Vitality.
change there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, look, let's call it there at 50 minutes. It's our longest podcast to date. We had lots to talk about. We missed out a bit. So, majors tomorrow. Let's go. We're going to record another one of these later in the week after the first kind of week or so of the majors. There'll be fuckloads to talk about. We can check in on how our results have done, see if anything were right or wrong. But yes, mate. Well, yeah. Let's
Yeah, good to be back, and I do think that the next episode is going to be a good one because we're going to have so much to talk about. At the minute, it feels quiet because we've not had much going on in the pro scene. There's not been much movement on CS2, but I think the next episode is like up full steam ahead.
nice one. All right. Well, take care, everyone, and
Yep,
thank
we'll
you
see
for
you on the next
watching.
one. Cheers, guys.